My name is Paige and I'm a 27-year-old office employee. Currently, my day is full of happiness for me, except for my old childhood friend Chelsea, who was giving me more trouble than I could handle. Chelsea was a girl my age who grew up in the same neighborhood as me. Since we were little, she would say things like, "I'm super cute and popular," about herself, but she didn't have any other crimes in particular, so our families would go out to eat together. Sometimes have barbecues together. However, when we were freshmen in high school... Chelsea, what are you doing at a place like this? When I finished my part-time job and came home, Chelsea was crouched down in front of my house with a sour look on her face. "You're finally home. I'm never going to forgive you. I'm so much cuter than you, Paige. This isn't fair." What on earth are you mad about? "Stop acting dumb. I heard the rumors that you and Kevin are dating, aren't you?" Kevin was a boy that went to the same high school as me and Chelsea, and he was in our year. He was good-looking and had great grades and the ace of the sports team, and Chelsea was, well, completely obsessed with him. But still, what kind of a rumor is it that Kevin and I would be dating? Hey, obviously that's just a rumor. Kevin is in a different class anyway, and just because Kevin and I are both on the student council, sometimes we talk to each other during student council meetings, but... Shut up! Starting today, you're my biggest enemy! Chelsea's face was bright red as she stormed away from me and went home without another word. The next day when I got to school, just like Chelsea had said, the rumors had been spreading. However, both Kevin and myself just kept denying the rumors, and in less than 3 days, the rumors calmed down. However, even after that, every time Chelsea would pass me in the hallways, she would step on my feet, or yell at me, or call me an ugly pig. Sometimes my shoes or gym clothes would go missing too. I was getting exhausted of Chelsea's rampage, and when I graduated high school, I left my hometown and decided to go to a university in Tokyo. And then after we graduated, my life without Chelsea tailing me everywhere was simply paradise. I also got a boyfriend named Michael while I was a student, and even after I got a job in Tokyo, we've still been dating. And then, to my shock, he proposed to me. Now that we were fiancés, in order to go greet one another's families and to have meetings about the wedding, we were going back and forth between Tokyo and the hometowns of both of our families. Everything was going great until, as the wedding date got closer, Michael started to act more and more strange. I was wondering why he was leaving the house so often until suddenly, one day, he said, "How about we cancel the wedding?" This was after we already started living together and the wedding was in a matter of days. I was shocked and yelled, "What are you saying?" at him. But somehow I remained calm and asked him the reason why he would want to cancel the wedding. But it was useless, because Michael was only dodging the question, and he refused to give me any reason at all. The next night, Michael had a company happy hour, and he came home late at night and fell asleep in the doorway. I couldn't get him to wake up and wasn't sure what to do when Michael's cell phone started buzzing. On the screen, it said someone from work, and it seemed like an incoming call. Someone from work. That's a very broad name for a phone contact. Even if I was his fiancé, I don't think it's right to answer somebody's phone without their permission. So in the beginning, I ignored it. But then I saw a message that said, "This is an emergency." So I felt like I had no choice but to answer the phone for Michael. But then... "Oh, you finally answered. The weekend starting tomorrow is our vacation to the hot springs, right? But I don't have the money for transportation there, so I was wondering if you could transfer some money to me." That obnoxious voice. It has to be Chelsea. But wait, a hot springs vacation starting tomorrow? This scumbag, he told me he was going on a business trip tomorrow. Hey, you! How do you know Michael's phone number? Crap! Paige! Chelsea was silent for a while, but then she suddenly started to laugh. "I heard a rumor that you were getting married, so... After stealing Kevin from me back in high school and now getting married before me, I couldn't forgive you for it. So this time, I thought I would be the one to steal Michael from you. Hey, how do you feel right now? Sad? Mad?" Chelsea, how many years are you going to keep talking about that? But also, how did you even get connected to Michael in the first place? Even though you didn't invite me to your wedding, you invited all our old classmates, didn't you? I just lied to them and said that I was invited to your wedding too, and I told them that I wanted to surprise you at your wedding, so I asked around if anyone had your fiancé's phone number. It was too easy. This witch! But also, I can't believe that Michael would be so easily tricked by a crazy girl like Chelsea. I immediately shook Michael by the head, putting my mouth right into his ear and yelling, "Wake up!" When Michael jumped awake, I immediately asked him about his relationship with Chelsea, and sweat started pouring down his face as he stayed silent. I wanted to yell at that garbage woman directly, so I demanded that Michael would bring Chelsea to our house the next day. I went straight into preparing everything that I needed, and I went to sleep in a different room from Michael. The next day, Chelsea did indeed come to our house. On the living room sofa, Michael and Chelsea sat next to each other, and at that moment... Out of nowhere, Chelsea covered her face with both hands and started crying out loud. I really do feel bad about this, Paige, but no matter what, I just can't break up with Michael. I fell in love with Michael, and this is what happened. This is all my fault. I'll take all of the responsibility.
Chelsea.
At that moment, I caught a glance of Chelsea's face for a brief second through her two hands. And that woman, she was laughing. I was furious from the bottom of my heart, but...
Paige, that's enough already.
To my disbelief, Michael grabbed Chelsea by the opposite shoulder, and he held her in closely as he pulled her into his arms? What?
You're hearing Chelsea's words just now. I've made my decision. Paige, we're breaking up. And how dare you make Chelsea cry? Apologize to her now.
Huh? What is this guy saying? Why should I have to be the one apologizing?
This is all your fault that things ended up like this in the first place. Chelsea would call and message me every single day.
Well, yeah, Chelsea is unemployed and mooching off of her parents to live, so I can only imagine that she has more than enough time for messages and phone calls.
Yet all you ever did was the chores and work and getting everything ready for the wedding. You didn't give me any attention at all.
You're right. The chores and everything to prepare for the wedding. You didn't help with any of it, did you? But also, you don't make that much money, so even if it didn't work, then we wouldn't be able to live. Plus, when you say I didn't give you attention, wouldn't that be you who was always out drinking around town? I didn't realize that Michael was this much of an idiot. Why didn't I notice it until now? I was so over it that I had nothing more to say. That being said, the saving grace was that I found out before we were officially married. And plus, I've already prepared everything to knock them both straight down to hell. Well then, why don't we get this duel started? These idiots look like they have no idea the cards I have in my hand are much stronger than theirs combined. Let's take them down once and for all. As Michael was continuing on with his rant towards me, Michael, it's all my fault. Paige is so much uglier and smaller than me, and even if she had no attractiveness as a woman, it was all my fault for falling in love with you this much, Michael.
Chelsea, please don't cry. Paige, get out of here.
Sure, I will get out of here. But before I do that, I've actually invited a few other guests today. Also, earlier you said that you would take all of the responsibility, right, Chelsea? Thanks! I will be receiving $90,000 for the settlement fee and for the wedding costs. Thank you. When I said that, Chelsea and Michael yelled out in harmony, 900,000? Hey, but you know that would be impossible for me.
That's outrageous. Is something wrong with your head?
While the two of them were crying out with their complaints, the doorbell rang, ding-dong, in perfect timing. I ignored the two loud pieces of crap, and I headed towards the front door. And I welcomed the first guest into the living room. Well then, it's my turn. And this is my first card. The moment she saw this person's face, Chelsea let out a pathetic "what?" as her whole face started to go pale. Because that person, who was fuming while standing there and glaring at Chelsea, was none other than her mother. When I explained the situation to her on the phone, she was quick to come here for me, because our parents have been friends for a very long time. When I called her about this, she came flying over. Oh, Paige, I am so sorry, this stupid idiot daughter. Chelsea, what the hell is wrong with you? For you to steal Paige's fiancé and destroy her engagement. How long are you going to be unemployed and lazing around the house for? That's enough already! Her mom then took a fist to Chelsea's head. Lol, and on top of that, she slapped her palm across Chelsea's cheeks over and over. Chelsea, who was fake crying until now, you don't have to hit me like that! And finally, she was crying for real this time.
Ma'am, Chelsea didn't do anything wrong, and, Chelsea and I, we're in love with each other. Both Chelsea and I. We couldn't help these feelings that we have, and, Paige, you need to forgive her too. Look at her. Chelsea's already out of lives now.
Don't make me feel any more sicker than I already do. Do you hear me? And then next guest who had been waiting in the hallway appeared. My turn, and my second card was Michael's mother. When I opened the front door earlier, she was standing there next to Chelsea's mother, and they both entered the house together at the same time.
Crap. Why?
Michael was shaking from head to toe as he took a step back. How dare you, you idiot scumbag! Michael's mother threw a straight punch to Michael's gut. On top of that, while Michael was wailing and holding his stomach, she kicked a knee into his pelvis. Michael, dripping from sweat through his clothes, fell down onto the floor as he started rolling around crying. Wow, moms, they're strong. Mothers truly are the greatest. Miss Paige, I am so terribly sorry about this disgusting lost son of mine. Michael, you're going to pay for what you've done. Do you understand? Then Michael's mother grabbed his legs with both arms as he was rolling around on the floor, and she ended him with an ankle hold.
What?
Michael was crying and screaming. He didn't even sound human anymore. After being destroyed by both of their mothers, the two of them got down on their knees and through their tears came to apologize to me.
But still, I'm in love with Chelsea and, right? Chelsea, what we have is real love.
Shut up! Shut up already!
What?
I would have been perfectly satisfied as long as I could steal a guy from Paige. And yet, I never imagined that I was going to end up in pain like this. Let me go!
Wait, Chelsea, what are you saying?
Shut up! Stop it already! From the very beginning, I didn't like you. I wasn't even interested in you. Don't get it twisted, you stupid loser! That must have been quite the shock for Michael because he froze right there on the spot. And at that moment, the doorbell rang once again. I went to go welcome them at the front door and brought them into the living room. Well then, my final turn. My third and last card was this! Kevin! That's right. The final guest was the man that Chelsea was obsessed with back in high school, Kevin! I had asked one of my old classmates for Kevin's contact information, and we've been messaging. Because I had heard through the grapevine that Kevin was now an extremely prestigious lawyer. And of course, I thought that this was the perfect opportunity, and I had to ask Kevin to take this case for me. No. So, Kevin, I already told him that I would be collecting the $90,000 fee from Chelsea. So, as my lawyer, you can take it from here. Like I said, there's no way I could pay that. I will absolutely make sure she pays it. And Chelsea's mother raised her voice on the spot. What? After causing this much trouble to Paige, $90,000 is cheap compared to what you've done. Paige, will you please leave this to me? Yes, thank you very much. No way.
Well then, Miss Chelsea, and also Mr. Fiancé, I will talk to you more in detail at our offices. My car is waiting outside, so please get in.
Chelsea and Michael were now shells of humans, but they were both dragged by the collar by both of our mothers as they all went out the front door with Kevin. After that, thanks to the mothers of the garbage and Kevin, I was able to squeeze $90,000 from Chelsea, as well as make Michael pay a settlement fee as well. On top of that, apparently the mothers of both garbage have sent them off separately deep into the mountains to work to pay back their debts. Chelsea is living and working at a family acquaintance's farm, and she has to sleep in the storage room with plenty of mice and bugs as she works on the fields from morning until night. Michael was also forced to quit his job and is now living and working far out in the mountains in the forestry industry. I heard that forestry is a really rough job. That guy was so pathetic that he was even afraid of flies and hated bugs more than anything, so I bet the mountains were a living hell for him. And then I heard that he was at his wit's end in no time. Well, he did this all to himself. Well then, on the other hand, as for me, with all the money I squeezed out of those two, I moved. I no longer had to do chores for two people, and right around the time that I was comfortable in my new life, Kevin invited me to go fishing with him. And nowadays, we go fishing together a lot. Just the other day, the two of us went fishing, and... I mean, all that being said, even though I asked you to take on this job so suddenly, you still showed up the next day. I can't thank you enough for that day.
Well, work is work after all. Paige, do you remember? Back when we were in high school, there were rumors that you and I were dating, right? That was actually my fault.
What? Really?
When I told my friend that I had a crush on you, Paige, it then turned into a weird rumor and got around the school. Now, I'm really sorry for causing you trouble back then. By the way, I still like you, to this day.
What? Wait, what? And now, 1 year after everything, Kevin and I were in a relationship. Thanks to those two pieces of crap, I was able to have unexpected yet a fateful reunion. And now I'm able to have this super happy life. I'm truly grateful to them for it. Thank you for watching! What kind of crazy people will we get to see next? Stay tuned for more!